Hi. It feels like I'm on The Price is Right, and I was the first person to get selected. I'm definitely going to try to go on the show after this.
It's called The Vibration is Right.
I love it. I feel so good to be here. One of the things that I love to do is to bask in appreciation. I love to make lists of positive aspects.
Well, doing that is one of the most productive things you can do. But if you are doing it to compensate for some resistance, then sometimes it backfires, because when you try to improve something that's in a not so good place, instead of moving the energy in the direction of your desires, sometimes you dig in without meaning to. So it's important to know how good feeling you are. If you're already tuned in, tapped in, turned on, so you feel pretty good, then do that and increase the momentum of it. That's a wonderful thing to do. Yes.
Another thing that I love is I love my mom. And I find myself making lists of positive aspects sometimes. Like, I love her. I appreciate her kindness, her love, her warmth. Her eyes light up when she sees me. I appreciate the fact that she's so religious. And I appreciate her desire for me to marry a woman, for example.
You do know that law of attraction works around sarcasm.
Okay. So I found myself in a really funny position not too long ago. She asked me flat out if I was seeing someone. And I proudly wanted to say yes, but then I said no. And then after I thought, why did I say no? And I thought, well, maybe I wanted her, maybe, I don't know if it was my inner being wanting her maybe to be angry instead of sad in a way, that I'd rather her be angry that maybe she suspected that I was and that I didn't confirm it, instead of being sad about the truth.
This is getting a little complicated, isn't it? Would you like us to tell you what we think? We think it's a wonderful thing that you love your mother. And we think it is natural that you may even today want to continue to please her. But there are some things that you just can't please her at the same time that you're pleasing yourself. In fact, a lot of those kinds of things. Most people who visit with us for a while come to a place of realizing that they have been utilizing someone close to them, like their mother, as a sort of not very good replacement for their own guidance system or for their own relationship with their own inner being. And so we know most everybody would like to have it both ways. You'd like to be able to tune into the wholeness of who you are and feel the satisfaction of that, and you'd like someone who is really meaningful to you, like your mother, to come right along with it. But sometimes it's just not going to be that way, and you have to make a choice. You have to decide what matters more to you: to be true to who you really are, which means a vibrational match to your inner being and what your inner being knows, or to satisfy the desires and intentions that others hold for you.
For the longest time, I guess now I accept the fact that she has her way of thinking, she's religious, and I love her, and I know that brings her happiness.
Well, before you go too much further, because all of that is true, but we want to show you an easier way in this subject, because when you try to think your way through it, there are so many opinions and so many thoughts about it, and you just scramble your brain, you scramble your thoughts, more important, you scramble your energy, and when you do that, you lose the clarity and power of your own point of attraction. When you take time, and by the end of this day, you will have heard us say this many times, when you realize that you've already done step one, you've already asked for what you want, it's already in your vortex. You want your mother to accept you as you know yourself to be. You want her to be joyful about the things that you are joyful about. You've had a lot of thoughts about this, and you've created a very powerful vibrational reality that is all about that. And your inner being is lined up with that and offering a vibration about that. So then, as you sit to meditate and you manage to quiet your mind about that subject and all other subjects, what happens is, as the resistance fades away, the vibration of who you really are becomes dominant. And along with that, clicking into who you really are, comes a confidence and a clarity and a love and a certainty and a sureness that really cannot be denied. One of the things that so many people do with their parents, you've been doing it for such a long time. You've been wanting your parents to be the vortex through which all of your good comes, through which your resources come and your compliments and your approval and all of that. And so then you put your parents in a very awkward position, because it's not their job to line up with everything you want. It's your job to line up with what you want. But this is certain: there is no one who cares more than your mother about your happiness. And when you go to a mother or to a mentor, to someone that you care about, and you express yourself as insecure, as unhappy, then you literally teach them vibrations about you that then later you want them to forget all about. And it's hard for them to forget the relationships that you have developed together. So she's not going to unlearn the way she has come to feel about you, and she's not going to come to unlearn the way you have taught her to feel about you. And you're not going to unlearn the way that you feel about her. But you could tune to something else that is stronger, and you could practice that through meditation every day for about 30 days, and you could come into the fullness of who you are so that you're radiating clarity, and then you would have perhaps an opportunity for her to understand who you are and where you're coming from and what you want. Yes? Enough?
I just have one more thing. You see, she's really stubborn.
But you see, here's the thing that we really want you to hear. What we were describing earlier about your opinion and her opinion. You're both stubborn. And when you get two stubborn people banging around together, nothing ever goes anywhere. You're still saying, I love her, but that can't even last. I love my mother so much, she's stubborn though. I love my mother so much, she's stubborn. I love my stubborn mother so much. My stubborn mother. I have a stubborn mother. My mother is stubborn. I have a stubborn mother who I used to love. That's really how it goes. But when you tune to the love that is you every day, then the first thing you do is love your mother. In other words, you are radiating love and clarity. You're not choosing based upon her agreement with you about one thing or another, you see. We're going to offer a phrase that we want you to remember forever and ever and ever. You can't get there from here. And that sounds not like the optimistic Abraham that you've come to know and love. But what we mean by that is, you cannot hold a vibrational stance and get to places that you want to be. You have to tune to the frequency of who you are and of what you desire. And you have to eliminate the resistance that's within you by focusing purely upon what you want. And when that clarity is pulsing through you, your power of influence is mighty. And until then, you're just going to duke it out in the physical realm, and decades can go by and there can be no real improvement. Helpful?
Yes.
Enough?
Yes.
Really
Thank you.
good.